see you, Griffmans. Glad to see you again. Happy Friday to you. Yes, it is Friday. That means we are one day away from the official weekend. I hope you got some big plans, something really cool you're going to do, maybe something silly and fun. We got lots of stuff going on too. We're wrapping up our week this week talking about different forms of travel. As you may recall, we have gone over different ways of travel, such as traveling to head to someone's house to visit, also traveling by pirate ship when we're reading about Treasure Island, and we've also talked about driving a little bit in our cars at the beginning of the week. Today we'll be focusing on another method of travel, which I hope you're getting plenty of this kind of exercise. If not the exact same thing, something similar. Bike ride! Do you have a bicycle you like to ride outside? I sure do. I ride it as much as I can. One of the brakes is actually on the fritz right now, but I'm going to get it fixed as soon as I can. I need to find someone that can help me. In the meantime, I do have a pair of roller skates. Have you ever seen roller skates before? They're like shoes, but they have wheels on them, so you can glide and scoot all over the place. There are also other methods these days that kids like to use, such as scooters, skateboards, and mopeds. Yep, those are all forms of travel. Alright, without further ado, let's take a look at our time. It looks like I only have to fix the minutes, because we are still in the 10 o'clock hour. Right now it is 10:07 according to my time. Alrighty. It being just a little bit after 10. I suppose you've already had your breakfast today, huh? What'd you have to eat? Was it tasty? I had eggs. Alright. As we know, the short red hand means the hour, and the long blue hand means the minutes. It is 10:07, and this is what it looks like. You have the big 10, or the little hand, I mean, and the big blue hand just after the one that makes 10:07 a.m. because it's the morning time. And that was time. Let's sing our 5 times multiplication tables. You ready? Here we go. Yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and that's our 5 times table. Yay! Excellent work. Alright, take a look at the schedule. What 3 things do we do every day on our schedule? Very good. Story, fun, and tale. Now, starting next week, we're going to change up our schedule just a smidgen. We are going to substitute, that means replace, tale time with spelling time. Okay? And it's going to make things a little bit shorter, but we will continue reading our Wishbone tale on a separate video series. That means it'll be at the same place that you're watching this video at. It's just going to be under a different video. So that way, if you just want to watch this part of the segment, you got it. And then you can go watch it, and then go play somewhere, do something really cool, come back later, and follow up on what happens next with Wishbone and Treasure Island. Keep an eye out for that. Telling mommy and daddy is a thing. Alright. And speaking of our schedule, let's go ahead and get that out. Alright. Whoops. The word fun is being too fun, and the letters are all crooked. Let's fix that just a smidgen. Yep, here we go. Our schedule. Story. We got the X right next to the story. S-T-O-R-Y story. S-T-O-R-Y story. At the end of the show, I'll be sure to show you what I mean by some of the spelling activities we're going to be doing. Today's story is The Paperboy. by the one and only Dave Pikley. Alright, hang tight. Let's get some nice therapeutic music to go with this story. I got the perfect thing for you. This segment is called Dawn. And I chose Dawn because not only does it sound good, but if you pay attention, the little boy has to get up way before dawn, before anybody else gets up. Let's see what happens. The Paperboy. Do you see that little truck right there? It's driving along really early in the morning, before the sun even comes up, so it can deliver the paper to all these houses. With thanks to Kimmy Whitmore. There it is again. Look, you can see the moon. Even though the moon is up, it is still very early in the morning. And very quietly, very lovingly, the truck driver brings out the newspaper, and he's going to bring it to that special house right there. Who do you think lives in that house? Our Paperboy. The mornings of the Paperboy are still dark, and they are always cold, even in the summer. And on these cold mornings, the Paperboy's bed is still warm and it's always hard to get out, even for his dog. Have you ever been perfectly snug and safe in your bed that you never wanted to leave it? That's how he feels. But they do. Oh, look at what a big boy he's being. He's gotten up. He's getting dressed in his own house, getting ready to go. Do you think the doggie's gonna come with him? Let's see. And softly, they step down the quiet hall, past the door where the Paperboy's father and mother are sleeping, past the door where his sister is asleep. And down to the kitchen, where they eat from their bowls. Little doggie's got his food bowl. Little boy's got his bowl of cereal. And out of the garage, where they quickly fold their papers, snapping on green rubber bands and placing them in a large red bag. See, they gotta put all those green rubber bands on the papers to roll them up so they can look nice. And he puts them in this big red bag. Oh look, the puppy's helping! That's so nice. That's a good boy right there. The Paperboy knows his route by heart, so he doesn't even think about which house to pedal to. See, he's riding, and he's got his light on the front of the bike. Just making his way across. Oh, and there's the little doggy. Instead, he's thinking about other things. Big things and small things. And sometimes he's thinking about nothing at all. His dog, too, knows this route by heart. He knows which trees are for sniffing. He knows which bird baths are for drinking, which squirrels are for chasing, and which cats are for growling at. But little by little, the world around them wakes up. Mommies and daddies are getting out of their bed now, and so are little boys and little girls. And the stars and the moon fade away, and the skies become orange and pink. Oh, I love those colors. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that gorgeous combination. I know I'm always saying that I'm not the biggest pink fan in the world, but it really goes well with orange in my opinion. And when the paperboy has delivered his last paper, he and his dog race home. And his empty red bag flaps behind him in the cold morning air. Kinda looks like a superhero cape, doesn't it? You gotta be careful though when you have something slung around your chest like that though. You won't want to get caught around your neck. Soon they are back home, and it's still dark inside. But the sounds of morning are all around. His father and mother are awake, and they're talking softly in their bed. And his sister is downstairs watching Saturday morning cartoons. See, little sister's already come downstairs to start watching cartoons. And back inside his own room, the paperboy pulls down his shade and crawls back into his bed, which is still warm. And while all of the world is waking up, the paperboy is going back to sleep, and his dog is sleeping too. Their work is done. What a good boy. And now is the time for dreaming. Oh, wow. I hope you really enjoyed that part of the story. The ending was beautiful, right? Did you have a favorite part? It's great exercise, great cardio exercise, so you can get big and strong to do with your bike. Sometimes it's hard to find time to ride a bike when you're an adult, but it's still good for you. In my neighborhood, there's a lot of people that ride their bikes. Some of them are even groups of people that are families riding together. I've seen a mommy and a daddy and a little girl and a little boy riding their bikes. And attached to the mommy's bike is a baby seat attached to the bike. And the baby gets to come. So there's a total of 5 people riding. And together they're doing a lot of things. They're getting stronger as a family, as well as getting stronger as individual people. And they're happy. Now, we have moved on from story time. Whoop. So let's go ahead and move that X down to the fun. I think you'll really like what I have in mind for you. We're going to use the blue marker. Can you get your check fingers ready for me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, down and up, and check. Big check mark going on there. Wow. Look at that. Boop, 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 boop. Alright. So it's not going to take long for me to get set up at all. I just have to adjust the camera. But why don't you take this time to go get you something to eat, a snack. Maybe get up and stretch a little bit. Stretching's really good for you in the morning. It makes your body feel good the whole day through. And we'll be right back. Alrighty, here we go. See, that wasn't long at all. I really enjoy this part of the show. One of my most favorite transitions is preparing for our daily activities. Okay, so what we're doing today is we are going to draw a map, an imaginary map of our neighborhood, okay? So, and I choose this activity because as we've been reading about pirates, they like to use maps a lot. As a matter of fact, Wishbone, when he's playing Jim Hawkins, knows a lot about the whole map bit. They have to protect their map so they know where the treasure is. We're going to do something very similar to that. In fact, feel free to watch this video again so you can get some inspiration, some ideas of your very own. To make your own map, you can make a map of anywhere. It can be a pretend map of places in your home, or it can be in your neighborhood, or it can be your very own room. The world is your oyster. Now, as you can see here, I've got all these different coloring pencils. I've got this black one that's going to make the layout of the map I'm going to use. And this is very simple right here. All I'm going to do is randomly draw an outline. Every map's got to have an outline of the special area. Whoop. It can look like just about anything, really. Alright, so I'm going to take these big scissors. Remember, you want to use scissors that are safe for you. I'm going to cut really, really fast. Now, if you're still learning and starting out to use scissors, don't worry about going super fast like me. Go at your own pace. In fact, enjoy this. Alright, now I'm cutting as close as I can to that black line. Oh, I love how random it turned out to be. You know something I just realized? I actually have some craft scissors. Let me get those craft scissors. I'm going to give it a fun design. Notch. Here are my craft scissors. These are special kind of scissors that make a design depending on which ones I use to make the cut. Watch carefully. Alright, see how it's got those ridges in the teeth? Watch this. Whoops. Little pieces can go flying everywhere. These could be super fun to cut too. And they're not very sharp either, so it's easier. It makes me feel more comfortable when I'm using them. Alright, so I got these pieces that are going flying everywhere. Just gonna throw these away in the trash can. Boop! Look at all those ridges it made. See that? Alright, now I'm going to use the double-sided tape. Doesn't matter which side I put it down on. Okay. So when you're building a map, sometimes it's easier to explore the area that you're making a map of so you know where everything is. So for example, I'm going to imagine I'm doing this of my neighborhood. My home is going to be marked with a red X. Alright, so I'm going to put the scissors away for now. Whoops. Throw away this extra paper real quick. Whoop. I need a red X. Let's see if I can find my red colored pencil. There's a lot of different colors in here. Hope I didn't run out of red. Well, funny enough, I don't think I have a red. Oh wait, here it is. that's orange. Never mind, it was so dark I thought it was red. Where is that scoundrel of a pencil? Alright friends, well it looks like I'm going to have to use a different color, which is okay. I'm going to use this dark, kind of reddish brown. This is called maroon. See that color? Alright. And I'm going to pretend, I'm going to put the black one away, because it's like right here. I'm going to pretend that the X right here, oh, actually that came out a more handsome red than I expected. The X right here. See that X? That's my house. Actually, I'm going to bring out that black one again. I am going to draw a little house. Alright, see that? Okay. And in my neighborhood, there are many, many houses that look a lot like mine. I have a street right here outside of my house. And this is what you call a four-way street. Four-way street meaning there's 4 different directions it can go in. Alright, and that's what it looks like. Kind of, whoops. Lines here to indicate the middle of the road. And trust me, whenever I go out to walk my dog Rocky or anything, I'm always making sure that I'm looking on both sides of the road. See that? I've made the street. And there is a whole row of houses right here. And they're all connected too. And a whole row of houses here on the other side. Kind of look like monster teeth a little bit. Okay, as you can see, I've built houses on all sides. That red X is my house. And around the other side, these are all my neighbors' house. Very cool, huh? Alright, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to make a pretend paper route, just like the little boy did, but he used his mind to remember which houses to go to. I'm going to use my imagination and pretend that I'm riding my bike all throughout the houses. So, with these little blue lines. So, I would go this way. Alright, see that? And I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 steps to get there. Sometimes pirates will mark their paths like this, and they will call them paces. Now this is how many paces or how many steps you take to get to your treasure. In this case, I want to complete my paper route. So I would make another turn on my bike. I would come back around again. We start off with 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 to get to this house over here. But I've already gone ahead and dropped off the paper at all of these houses. And then I might circle back around. To drop off the paper at my neighbor's house right there. And then, just like the little boy, come back around, come back to my house. That would be my paper route in my neighborhood. Oh, and that doesn't stop there with how your map's gonna look. You can make it look however you want. If you want to make a map of your neighborhood, take a walk outside and take a look at how many trees you see or bushes and put them into your map. I know there's a tree right across the street. So I'm just going to draw this little symbol here that shows tree. The little green tree. And there's a big tree in my backyard too, so I'll draw one here. And remember, these are yours. You can draw them however you want. My neighbor over here has a very beautiful flower bush tree. So I'm going to draw these zigzag lines. Maybe get out the pink and draw those pretty flowers he's got in it. Okay, see that? There's this pretty flower bush or tree right in front of his house. Or beside it on this map. Okay. And that's my map. This would be my bike route or my treasure map for my neighborhood. Pretty cool, huh? If you decide to take on this project, show me what you've made. Alright, it's time to move on. Let's continue with tail time. Oh goodness, it's been quite a fun week. Whoop, are we tilting? Huh? We should probably fix that. Otherwise we're just gonna sit here like this all day. Whoop. Yeah. So what has been your favorite method of traveling this week? I would have to say probably by boat. Because even though you're not really in the water, per se, I'm used to swimming around. When I'm swimming around inside of your bodies and keeping you safe from all the bad germs and all the bad viruses, I swim through your blood like this. Any germs here? Nope. Okay, move on. And I come all the way up to your heart. Any germs around here? Yes, I see a germ there. Take care of him. Make him go away. And I move on. All the way up to your arm. Look into your arm. Any germs here? No germs here. Oh no! There's a boo-boo. There's a boo-boo on the knee. So if there's a boo-boo on your knee, I need to go down to the knee and help protect that. I use my friends called platelets to help protect your knee when it gets hurt and you get that boo-boo and keep all the joints out. So that's why you have scabs. Well, that's my understanding. That's their job, not mine. My job is to supervise and get rid of those germs. Make you stronger. Well, thank you for your hard work, and thank you for sharing. You did kind of answer the original question. You know me, I love my tangents. So, let's see. Oh, that reminds me, you wanted to share a boat. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I have had one more little thing to share for you before we move on with our story. Yes, get it. Can I get it? What? This is something my very good friend made for me. It is a special boat from one of my favorite games. The little boy on the boat you see there, his name is Link. And it's his job to travel around with that magical boat. And the boat will talk to him because it's got a very mystical, magical spirit inside of it that helps him take care of the world that they live in from an evil force known as Ganon. Ganon is no good. He looks like a big pig. Auntie, he does. He's got the tusks and he's got the green skin. He's got the nose that goes. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, this is one of my favorite decorations I like to have in the room. It is so nice that I asked her if she could do it again for my sister-in-law, who is going to get one just like this. Super awesome. I need to make a time to go visit her so she can enjoy it on her wall too. Very cool. Absolutely. Alright, are we ready for Treasure Island? Yes. Did you have something else to say? No, I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm looking for I wish I had a story. I wish I had a joke or something. I can't think of one right now. I feel on my fingers. You got fingers? Yeah, I got fingers. Um, hmm. I can't think of any jokes right now. Yeah, next time. No. Yeah, always. I love to tell my jokes. Oh wait. No, I do have one. Okay, what's the joke? What did the rug say to the floor? What did the rug say to the floor? Got you covered. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week for the next 5 seconds. Alright, so let's continue on with our story. We played that awesome epic pirate music for you real quick. I have a friend that's asking if that was Antivo. Yes, indeed it is, friend. It's our special visitor, Antibody, here to tell us about being a superhero inside the human body and protecting from germs. Alrighty. So, let's continue on with our story. Last we left, Joe, Sam, and David were inside of the barn, and they ended up getting trapped inside because the barn door blew so hard and it locked them inside. But that's not what we're going to address now. We're picking up with Chapter 6. Where we are continuing with the pirate story. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 6. Remember, Wishbone the doggy is pretending that he's Jim Hawkins on this boat. The next morning we came to anchor in the bay south of the island. I stood up on top of a keg and looked over the rail at it and my nose twitching. Gray woods seemed to cover much of the island, with some yellow streaks of treeless sand. There were hills that rolled up like cones, and their sides composed of gray rock. The Hispaniola rocked quietly at anchor. Not a breath of a breeze stirred. The doctor sniffed the air, which held an unpleasant smell of rotting leaves and decomposing tree trunks. I don't know about the treasure, he said, but I'll bet my wig there's fever here. That means he thinks people could get sick there easily. I nodded my agreement. I never thought land could smell so nasty. Or maybe it was my feeling that something bad was about to happen and made me think the island was an evil place. After all, if the pirates marooned us there, I could spend the rest of my life ashore with not even a dog biscuit to call my own. As the sun grew hot, the men lay on the deck, grumbling together as they made small talk. They complained when ordered to do any work, and it was clear that their tempers were growing short. Long John worked hard to cheer everyone up, but even he could do so little. In the cabin, the captain said, "Gentlemen, the crew think they can make their way ashore and bang their shins on gold bars sticking out of the ground. Their greed is making them angry. Only one man can calm them down. Silver." "He's the ringleader," Squire Trelawney objected. "But he's as anxious as you or I to smooth things out," Captain Smollett replied. "Let him have the chance, and I'll give the men leave to go ashore. If they all go, we'll all hold the ship. We can sail away and leave them if we choose. Or with the cannon we can fight them off and try to come aboard again." "But what if they don't go, Captain?" I asked. With an expression of determination, Captain Smollett said, "If none goes, we'll break out our guns and hold the cabin against them all. And God defend the right. Or if some go and some stay, Silver will bring the ones who go ashore back aboard as gentle as lambs, and I think that will keep the others from turning against us." The squire agreed, and his servants, Mr. Hunter, Mr. Redruth, and Mr. Joyce, came into the cabin and were led on in secret. They, the squire, and the doctor all armed themselves with pistols, and the captain went on the deck to speak to the crew. I followed along and sat on the deck behind him, in his shadow. I was nervous, and my own tail twitched as if it had a mind of its own. "My lads," he said calmly, "you are hot and tired. I'll give you short leave to enjoy yourselves for a spell. Take the boats ashore, and I'll fire a gun as a signal for you to return half an hour before sundown." The crew changed their behavior at once. They gave a cheer that made the tropical birds fly up from the island's jungle with a high squawking squawk squawk, screeching noises that would make me want to put my paws over my ears. With a smile, the captain said, "Mr. Silver, you know this crew as well as anyone. Take charge of organizing the shore leave groups, if you will." And then he quickly disappeared out of sight. Silver was obviously their captain now. He divided the crew into units, then began sending the groups into the small boats we called gigs. Silver ordered 6 of the crew to remain aboard. Soon almost all the others were rowing for shore, and the last few men were climbing into the gig they had lowered. As soon as I stood on deck watching the men preparing the boats, I realized that with 6 pirates left behind, our group could not take the ship. At the same time, 6 pirates could hardly overpower the captain, the doctor and the squire, and the others, armed as they were. I saw no reason why I should stay aboard, not even when adventure waited me on the shore. Besides, the doctor had wanted me to be the eyes, ears, and nose for honest men. And no one had exactly ordered me to stay on the ship. And there was treasure to dig up, and I do love to dig. With all these thoughts twirling around and around in my head, I made my decision and jumped from the deck down into the last boat. No one paid me any mind as I curled up into the bow, and eager sailors soon rowed us towards the shore. I immediately jumped out and ran onto the woods, feeling hot and sand beneath my paws. Behind my head, I heard Silver cry out, "Jim!" But I paid no attention. Usually I'm very obedient, but I'm smart enough not to come when a pirate calls me. Soon I was far inland, and I looked about with interest. I had never been outside England before. Everything, even the trees, seemed strange and new. All the vegetation smelled different from the kind that I had loved sniffing at home. I even got up close and personal with some. The day was hot and muggy. I came out onto the open sand area dotted with pines and willows. There was a land crab crawling there, and I pushed him along with my nose and yipped at him a little. Exploring, I chased strange birds, made them fly up into the trees in red and pink blurs of wings. Once I saw a snake that buzzed at me from his place on a rock. Shh. I didn't learn until later that it was a deadly rattlesnake. Fortunately, it didn't strike me. One bite and I'd have been a dead dog. After an hour or so, I heard a dreadful scream from somewhere not far off. Ah! My ears pointed straight up, and despite the heat, I shivered, for I realized what had happened. The pirates had just killed one of the honest crew members, and I realized that if they caught me, I would suffer the same fate. For the first time, I understood exactly how much trouble my adventure had landed me in. What could I do? I had no way of getting back onto the Hispaniola. I couldn't get into any of the boats if the pirates suspected I had heard the terrible scream and knew what had happened. The Hispaniola was anchored too far ashore for me to swim out. And anyway, I wasn't much of a swimmer. I could only do a little dog paddle. There seemed nothing left for me to do but death by starvation or death in the hands of the mutineers. Just then I heard a rustling behind me. I spun around and saw gravel fall. It rattled and bounded from the side of a steep hill, and a moment later something dark and shaggy leaped in front of me. For a second I thought it was a huge monkey, but then I realized it was a man. A skinny man with a great long shaggy red beard, long gray hair that had grown scraggly over his shoulders, and hairy coarse goatskin clothes that had been patched and tied together. He smelled goaty too, as if he hadn't had a proper bath for a long time. I don't like baths either, but I think it's good to bathe at least once a year or so. I was stricken with fear, but then he threw himself on his knees in front of me and clasped my paw. "You've come to rescue me!" he croaked in a voice that seemed hoarse as a rusty lock. "Who are you?" I asked. "Ben Gunn," he answered. "I'm poor Ben Gunn, I am. I haven't spoken to a soul these 3 years. His voice confirmed that he was English, like myself, though he looked wild. He was tanned dark from the sun and was as ragged as the poor beggars in the world. 3 years, I echoed. In almost disbelief. Were you shipwrecked? Nay, mate. Marooned 3 years ago, and I lived by eating goats and oysters and wild berries. But my heart is sore of cheese. Many's a night I've dreamed of cheese, toasted mostly. See, been there for 3 long years. Did you hear what he eats? Oysters and berries. Wow. Oh, and goats. He eats goats too. Uh-oh. Sorry, friend, I thought. I left Gorgonzola on the Hispaniola. Wild berries. Maybe that's why he acted so weird, I thought. Those berries will get you every time. Thinking fast, I said, if you can help me get on board our ship again, I'll give you all the cheese you want. His face lit up with pleasure. Aye, you'll be a friend to old Ben Gunn. Yes, I will say yes. Thank you kindly, says I. What do I call yourself, mate? Jim, I told him. Jim, he seemed pleased. Well, Jim, I was once a pirate. Aye, that sailed with the devil of a captain, old Flint himself. Well, Jim, back in the year 51, Flint had buried his treasure on this island here, and then we sailed away, but 3 years later, Flint died, and I gave up being a pirate. I had a good religious mother, you see, and the life I led hurt my conscience, so I did it. But 3 years ago, I went on another ship that stopped here for water. I told the men that Flint's treasure was here, and they wanted to find it. 12 whole days they searched, and when they couldn't find a farthing, they were so angry at me that they left me here with a spade, a pickaxe, and a musket and powder. And I've been here ever since. I'm truly sorry, I began. He winked at me. Sorry for Ben Gunn, says he. Don't be sorry, says I. Jim, I am rich! He laughed so hard that I felt sure the poor fellow had suffered in his mind for being along so long. Okay, let's admit it. He's as crazy as a loon. Good old nutrition tip here, gang. Lay off the wild berries. You don't believe me, says he. Gunn babbled. It's true, says I. I'm rich, Jim. Rich! Tell me true, Jim. The ship you come from. Is it a pirate ship? No, I said. There are honest men on here. But I'll tell you true, if you ask me. Some of Flint's old sailors are aboard, and they've mutinied against the rest of us. Is there a man with one leg? He asked, visibly upset. I felt the fur on my neck bristle at the mentions of the same one-legged seaman that Captain Billy Bones had feared so much. Grimly, I responded, yes, Long John Silver. He's the ringleader. Gunn looked sick. If you was sent by Long John, I'm as dead as pork, and I knows it. No, I said, wagging my tail and trying to look like Ben's best friend. I'm on the other side. I told him about the squire and the captain. You're a good lad, Jim, he said when I had finished. Trust Ben Gunn and help ye. Tell me, will the squire give me a fair share of the treasure if I does? Say 1,000 pounds? I'm sure he would. We're all here to share, I explained. And would he give me passage home? Oh, yes, I answered. We need your help to sail the ship. So you would, ha ha, Gunn cried, delighted. Jim, you'll go back to your squire and tell him, Ben Gunn is a good man. He is a sight more confidence and a good gentleman born in the gentleman of fortune. And if ye come help him, he'll come help ye. So he will. Just have him come out to this clearing with something white in his hand as a peace token, and tell him that we may have a talk, and we will. But I don't have a boat, I said. How can I get back aboard? That's a hitch, to be sure, he answered. But I have a boat that I made with my own 2 hands. I keep her under the white rock. A thunderous explosion shattered the stillness. All 4 of my legs slipped out from under me and made me fall flat on my stomach in surprise. Birds and wild ducks screamed and flew up in a riotous blur all around. What's that? Gunn cried in alarm. The cannon, I said, getting up to the fire off the ground. They've begun to fight. Come and we'll see, Gunn said. Follow the goat path on the left, Jim. It was a rough path, maybe all right for goats, but it was hard for a man or a young pup like myself to make his way along it. We ran for a long time and heard more cannon fire. When we broke out onto the top of the hill, suddenly we were looking out across the bay, and there lay the Hispaniola, not a quarter of a mile away. 2 men were leaning over the cannon, and a third lay on deck, his shirt red with blood. That's the Israel hands aiming, Gunn cried. He were Flint's gunner. We saw white smoke spout out of the cannon, and a second later the vibration of the explosion hammered into us. Hands seemed to be aiming the weapon directly into the woods. Look there! Gunn said, pointing away from the Hispaniola towards the woods. I looked and saw a British flag, the Union Jack, flying on a wooden pole. That must be why the captain and the honest men? I yelped in surprise. What were they doing ashore? They're in the old stockade. What the pirates built years ago, Gunn said. Go to the stockade and join him, matey. And don't forget to tell him about old Ben Gunn. He was bounding away and disappeared in a moment. Having no choice, I ran the other way, crouching to scramble under briars, loping around on all fours in open spaces. I headed for the stockade and wondered what had caused the captain to flee from his own ship. It looks bad for us. What will happen if the Buccaneers sail off in the Hispaniola? We'll be marooned, just like Ben Gunn. And me without a piece of kibble to my name. That is the end of chapter 6. Whoa, it's getting really exciting now, isn't it? Well, I was going to read you a couple more pirate words. Now, we heard the word marooned several times. Marooned means to leave someone alone in a certain place, all by themselves. This book surely has a more technical term for it. Let me see if I can find it. Can't find it. Well, it usually happens on a deserted ship or a deserted island, like in this book. Oh, there it is. Almost missed it. Here it is. No, it's not. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I just saw it. Anyway, so, basically, back when Long John Silver was in charge, Ben Gunn had worked with him, and then some other men came because he told them about the treasure, and they wanted to get the treasure, but they ended up leaving him alone on that island. So as we read, he had been there for 3 years. He was dark, and his skin was so sun-bleached and dry, and he was hot, and he only had oysters, goats, and wild berries to eat. Wild berries made him kind of loopy, like he wasn't thinking very clearly. That and long periods of sun can do that to you. This is why it's always important to know how long you've been out in the sun. You don't want to stay out for too terribly long, otherwise you might not feel well in your head. And always stay hydrated. Alright, we didn't check in with our schedule time. So, can you help me check off with the fingers real quick? We're going to check off both fun and tail time. Now remember, after this, check. We are going to have a third activity here where it says tail. Alright? And that activity will be replaced with word time. That's what I'm thinking we'll call it. And what I mean by that is I will have 2 words a day to show you. Like this right here are the words all and am. A-L-L-A-M. And we'll write them together in a sentence. Okay. And that will be the last segment from now on our show. So, I hope you have a great weekend. If you decide to make any treasure maps of your own, please take pictures of them and post them up so I can see them. Bye-bye, friends. I'll see you next week.